Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my third update for my 21 in 21 project pan. If you've been following along, you know that this is a rolling 10 pan style project pan where I'm working on 10 products at a time with the ultimate goal of hitting 21 goals throughout the year. I've got lots of great progress to share with you guys, so let's just go ahead and get into it. I always go in the order that I apply the products, so it's always 1 through 10 in the exact same order. So we're just gonna dive in and start with a really exciting update. The first product is my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. And as you can see, it is completely gone. This guy is empty as it can get. So in the progress pictures, you can see that I was actually working on this product all last year as well as this year. And I was starting with it almost completely full last year. It was right about here, I would say, when I started last year, and it has really taken me an entire year to pan this. I'm pretty sure it was actually last March exactly when I started this, so it took me exactly a year to get through this. Now, I didn't use this every single day within that time period, but I did use it most days. In this project, however, tracking my uses, I tracked that I used this 27 times in the month of March for a total of 81 uses in this project. Now, if we include all the uses I tracked last year from March as well, it puts me at 323 marked uses. That's a lot of uses. And again, I wasn't starting completely full. I was starting about right there. So that tells me that this product, if you used it every single day, you could probably get an entire 365 uses out of this. That would be my guess, depending on how much you use. And I mean, I used this pretty much all over my face. It wasn't just like on the high points or anything. I like to use it as a glowy base. So I used it pretty well all over the face. If you just did use this as like a highlighter right on the high points or on your nose, you could probably get almost twice the amount. So this is really worth the price. Like I've said before, I probably will repurchase this at some point. I'd like to try something new just for the sake of trying something new before I repurchase it. But I do highly recommend it, and I definitely think it's worth the money. So now that that's rolling out, because we did hit goal on it, which is a second goal within the project, I am going to be rolling in a primer in its place. Now, I only had 2 primers at the start of the year, so my only other primer is actually my Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer in the Perfecting version. I bought this at the beginning of the year just because I only had the Charlotte Tilbury one and I wanted to add another one into my collection because I knew that would be leaving on the sooner side. So I decided to go ahead and pick this one up and give it a shot. I had never used this or any of the Laura Mercier primers, but I wanted to give it a try, and the Perfecting just seemed like that might be a good idea. I still haven't fully formed an opinion on this. I feel like it doesn't really do anything, but I don't feel like I've gotten to know it well enough to know if it does anything or not. However, I do want to go ahead and get it used up because I don't really see much of a difference in the uses that I have gotten out of it. I feel like let's just go ahead and use it up. If I find I like it, I can always replace it when I finish it. But I'd rather just go ahead and move through this one than bring another one into my collection and have them competing, especially if I do find that this really doesn't do much for me. So this is where I'm starting on this product. I haven't used it a ton. I think I've used it about 21 times before this. I have been tracking every single use because I track every use of every product that I use every day. Yes, I am that intense. So I don't know how long it'll take me to get through this. This technically has more product than the Charlotte Tilbury one, I believe, as far as weight goes, but I don't think this is gonna take me even till the end of the year to finish this up. You use a whole lot more of this, and with the squeeze tube form, you're gonna get a whole lot more when you squeeze it out. So I feel like this will probably take me 6 months or so to get through. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tracking this, seeing how far I can get and getting this used up and out of my collection and bringing some new things in. On to the second product. And if you watched last time, you probably guessed that this would be the status of this product. But I finished up my Milani Screen Queen foundation. So I introduced this into the product early this year because it was actually my only foundation coming into this year from last year. I had picked this up back in, I think, September or October of last year, and I have tracked every single use that I've gotten out of this product. The pump did stop working back in February, I believe it was, and so I unscrewed the pump and would use that to scrape out some product at first, but then last month I did have to scrape everything out that I could, and I ended up putting it into this empty Glow Recipe container. And as you can see, it's completely empty in there. I have some like streaks, but that's not usable product. It's all dried out and I can't get it to come out of there. So otherwise completely empty. I have no way of reaching this product up here. I had tried to like get it out by putting it upside down and it just would not come. It's a very thick formula. It's really lightweight, but it's just like it feels almost whipped. And so it's like really hard to get to move in here unless you're directly hitting it. It's not a very liquidy product, I guess I should say. And so it was really hard to get it out of here. But yeah, all this stuff up here, I couldn't get to it. So that's kind of unfortunate, but it is empty as far as I'm concerned. I started up here at the beginning of January, and then that was my February update. And then in March, I had to empty it out of here to put it into here. And now it's completely gone. Last month, I used it 16 times to get it totally finished up, which was a total of 59 uses within this project. Now, for those of you who have that foundation and would like to know how many uses it took me to get it completely used up from start to finish, it was a total of 152 uses for me. So I think that's a pretty good number of uses. 150 uses is not any kind of small number when you compare it to the fact that it was a $15 foundation. That's about 10 cents a use, which is a pretty good deal. You could probably get some that are a little bit cheaper, but that one worked out really well for me, and I was really happy with my progress and the product I got to use out of it. So to replace that foundation, I am rolling in another foundation, and this one I'm going mostly based off of the expiration date to choose my foundations, because I have 3 and I like to keep it at 3. So I did get one foundation to replace the Milani one, a similar coverage and everything, but I didn't want to roll that one in. So I decided to choose the foundation in my collection that has the closest expiration date. And that one actually turns out to be the foundation that I got at the beginning of this year, which is my Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint. So I tried this out in a sample that I got from Sephora last year, and I was really surprised with how much I like it. I really like this foundation a lot. I think it's a really good tint. It does add a little more coverage than I would have expected for a tint, which is nice for me. It's not just like completely sheer, in my opinion. It does a pretty good job of adding a little bit of coverage while still letting your skin show through. I've been very happy with it. It can get a little bit greasy for me. The feeling is a little bit greasy, but I like that it has the niacinamide and squalene and hyaluronic acid in it, as well as the SPF. But because of those things, I also want to make sure that I get this used up before the expiration date. I definitely don't want to let this go farther than the, I think it's 12 months that they recommend for this. Typically, I'm not too concerned with expiration dates. I like to try to use things up by the expiration of them if I can, just because I like using up my makeup, and if it's possible, may as well do it, I feel. But I'm not generally too concerned. However, since this does have SPF, I do want to prioritize it. Now, there is no way for me to track this measurably, photographically. Like, I can't show you progress on this. It is completely opaque. I tried putting it up to many different lights to see if I could see through it. I can't. The opening is just too dark in there, and I tried shining my flashlight in there and I couldn't even see in. Yeah, there's really no way for me to see in here and measure my progress visually. So what I've decided to do is I do have a food scale. It doesn't give me the most clear representation of the weights because it only does grams by the whole and then ounces. It does give me decimal points, but sometimes I find those don't move as quickly. However, I'm just gonna use what I have. I'm not gonna go out and buy another scale right at this point, but I am gonna start with just using the scale that I have. Right now, it weighs in at 2.96 ounces. So I'll keep my eye on that. I'll weigh it at the beginning of every month and just see how much progress I can measure that way. It might not be a very easy thing to measure like that. This does come with 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters. So we'll see how much I can track this. I don't know how long it's gonna take me. I have no kind of reference point for this, but I'm hoping that it won't be too long of a product. I'm not going to use this every single day. This is something that I'll probably get 15 or so uses on a month, whereas with the primer I will most likely use that every single day, but this one I'll probably aim for about 15 uses in a month. All right, so our next product is my bronzing product, and I have a little bit of a story with this. So I don't know if you'll be able to notice, but I have this weird thing going on with my skin right now that right in this area on both sides of my face, it doesn't seem to want to hold bronzer or much of any product, but specifically bronzer. I at first thought it was actually my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer that was doing it, and so I was doing a lot of experimenting to see, you know, was it in combination with a foundation, was it in combination with or without powder, was it because of the blushes that I was using, was it because I was putting too much bronzer on, or was I just not blending it out well enough? And so I tried different bronzers, I tried different products, I tried everything. I'll put up a picture of the other day when I noticed it particularly bad, and it just, I don't really know what's going on with my skin. So this past month, I don't feel like I got as good a progress as I could have because I was testing a lot of things with this bronzer. But I also don't really know what's going on with my skin. It's like a really weird, patchy, weird thing. I don't understand. I'm gonna be testing some stuff out, so I'm not sure exactly what the deal is. I did notice that with a different bronzer, it wasn't as noticeable of a problem. So I don't know if it's just because it blends better into my skin or what, but I was fully prepared to roll this bronzer out and just say I'm done with it. However, I did discover that it's happening with the other bronzers too. It's just not as much. So I just have to be a little bit more intentional about how I use this bronzer. So with all that story being said, this is what my bronzer is looking like now. So here is my progress. It's pretty, I would say you still see a pretty good amount of progress. I did end up using this every single day in some form or fashion. So I still was making some progress. I just wasn't using as much of the product sometimes, and I don't feel like I got the progress that I could have. But I will say, I think I'm very close to pan. If I continue to use this every single day, I don't see any way I won't have pan at the end of next month. Looking in here, I can see even right in here, the side pan is like going down with it. And with that, I just don't really see me not hitting pan rather soon. I am ready to roll this out. I'm really getting tired of it because it's not the best. I think it's just not the best tone for me. It's kind of got like a little bit of an orangey base on me. I feel like it shows up a little orangey. I think it's supposed to be rather neutral, but it just doesn't really work for what I want it to be. And I think that's because it's supposed to be a sculpting shade, and I don't really use contour. I don't feel like I need it. And so I'm just learning this is not a product I need in my collection. So while I will use it and probably eventually use it up, I don't really care for it. And it's made me a little nervous about her bronzers. So I don't know. I don't know if I would try her bronzer formula or not. I might someday, but this is just not my favorite, and I am really ready to move it out, but I really want to hit pan. And since I discovered that this is not what was causing my skin to behave weirdly, it was literally just my skin behaving weirdly, I feel like I need to wait to hit pan on this, hit my goal, and then move on. Goals for next month, just keep using it every single day. I think I can do that pretty easily. I'm good about using the same base products over and over. It doesn't bother me to do that. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep trucking, and I hope to have pan next month. My highlighting product is my NARS Fort de France highlighter. And as you can see, I'm making some really, really, really good progress on this guy. I still think it's gonna take me a long time to get through this, but I am thrilled with the fact that I have finally connected these two pans. And I feel like it's a pretty big connection. It doesn't look like a small sliver of connection. It is a full connection. I am now currently working my way this way. I don't know how long, again, I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get through this. I think it's probably gonna be like September or October before I get even close to being done with it. But I'm feeling rather good about this. I think that I feel like I've talked about this in the past, but I think what I want to do is kind of work my way down here, clear out this area, and then work like this. So I'm not sure how long it'll take. I don't know how much progress I can make, but I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job with this. I do want to get it out of my collection just because it is older and I don't want it to go bad or expire completely on me before I get the chance to use it to its full extent. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Well, I think that's a pretty good example of why I need to get it used. Okay, so I think what will happen is instead of going this way, I hope you can see, I'm a little nervous about holding this now. Instead of going down this way, I will clear that up. So that's my goal. I did use this every single day. I don't think I gave you the numbers for the bronzer. I will give you the numbers for this, and then I'll go back and give you the numbers for the bronzer. I did use this 28 times in March. That is a total of 89 times in the project. Wow. What an exciting time. In trying to clean that up, I just lost all of that product. So this is our new update. Wow, guys. Wow. So anyways, the numbers for the bronzer, I did use it 28 times last month. My total uses on it are 87 times. I'm a little flustered by all losing so much of that bronzer or highlighter now, so let's just move right along. So the next product in my project is my blush, and that is my Milani Luminosa blush. You can see I've made some good progress on this guy. I am very excited with how quickly I'm moving through this. I have made it about halfway through the pan. I did have pan already when I put this in this project, and I am just wanting to get it used up. You can see there is still a little bit showing above when you hold it flat, but it's not too much. I feel like with the progress that I've been seeing, this will take me at least 2 to 3 more months. But I'm really excited about the progress I have been seeing, and I'm very thankful to be working through this as quickly as I am, because I have used this, I think nearly 300 times in pursuit of even hitting pan, and then now in emptying it up. So this has gotten a lot of love from me. It is 5 years old in my collection, so I want to get it used up, and I'm just really thrilled to have this progress in it. I did use this 26 times last month for a total of 54 uses in the project. Like I said, I am thinking that it's probably going to take me another 2 to 3 months to get through it. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to try to use it every single day. I think my goal would be to stick between 15 and 20 uses a month. If I can get more than 20 uses, that's fine, but I'm not gonna force myself to use this every single day. I just want to use it as much as I can. All right, we are halfway through. I'm going to try to move as quickly as I can through these last 5. Another exciting update is my single shadow, which is the H&M cream shadow in the shade Sirocco. Now, last month, I was a little disappointed because I hadn't hit pan in this and I thought I could. And literally the next day I used this, I hit pan. So I was right, I was close. I hit pan and then I did use it a few more times just to expand that pan. I feel like you can probably see that pretty well in there. I tried to make it where it was an obvious pan, and I am so excited about it. It is thrilling to finally have pan in this. I did use this 3 times last month for a total of 27 uses in this project. And I'm really happy to have some pan in here. It was getting a little bit frustrating to try to use this alongside my pan those eyeshadow shades. But yeah, I'm really thankful to get it used and get some good pan on it and roll it out. Now I'm gonna do something a little different here. I've been trying to do a 1-for-1 exchange of if I finished up a goal on one product, then I would roll the same sort of product in. However, like I said, that was kind of frustrating to me because it was getting in the way of my Pan Those Eyeshadow Palettes project. So instead of working on another single shadow product, I decided that I wanted to go ahead and roll in a different kind of product. One of my goals for this year is to empty a blush and then hit pan on another blush in my collection. Both of those tend to be longer term goals. And so because of that, I decided I would go ahead and roll one of those blushes that I want to hit pan on into this project so I could go ahead and get started on it and hopefully have a for sure shot of hitting pan sooner on it. Because I think if I wait until I get Milani finished up, I might not actually be able to hit pan in another blush. Just because blushes are so hard to hit pan on, and I want to go ahead and get working on one of those blushes. So the blush I chose is my NARS blush in the shade Sex Appeal. So this is just a very soft pink shade. I like it pretty well. It's not my favorite. I do like the formula of this blush. I think that I would probably pick a different shade if I was gonna get this blush formula again. I know I have a lot of the same brands within this project. It's not because they're the only brands that I own. It's just because I own a lot of them and they're the ones that I'm working through. But yeah, this is another NARS product. This one is not necessarily one of my oldest blushes. It's right in the middle, I think, but I just want to go ahead and get pan on this guy because it's right in the middle. It is the oldest one that doesn't have pan on it, so I want to focus on getting some pan on this. I don't know how long that'll take. I'm expecting most of the year. But yeah, I'd like to kind of do the same thing as I'm doing with my Milani one and aim for 15 to 20 uses a month. I don't think that'll be a problem with the two because I can layer them really nicely and use this as like my base color and then just use Luminoso as like a topper. So that is the third product I did hit goal on this month, which means I've hit 4 goals out of the 21 in the total project. I was really excited about all of that. We're working on it. We're getting there. Hopefully I can actually hit the 21. I'm starting to get a little nervous about it, but we're gonna give it a shot. My next product is my Bobbi Brown gel eyeliner, and I feel like we can finally see some really good progress on this guy. This just keeps on going, and I kind of knew that was gonna be the case, but like I said, I feel like you can actually see some really good progress in there. It is working somewhat on an angle where I'm kind of going down this way. This is not a very exciting product to update you guys on, but I do feel like it's making some good progress. I don't know that there's a chance I'm gonna get it done this year. I'm really gonna try for it. I feel like we're a little less than halfway there because I am going down in an angle. I'm eating up some of this product without hitting some of that product there. So I don't know, I feel like we're probably somewhere between a third and a half on this guy. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how we're going through it. I did use this 19 times last month for a total of 58 times since the start of this project. Again, I think it's going to take me a while to get through it. I think that aiming for the 15 to 20 uses a month is a good way to work through this, and just know it's going to be in the project the majority, if not the entirety of the year. The next product is another slow and steady sort of product. I don't know why, but lip liners are just, they take forever and they're incredibly deceptive. For example, this is where I'm at on my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip pencil. You look at this and I think it looks like it's basically done. But then you hold it up to the paper and that's where we are. And that's where we're trying to get to. And I feel like that's such a far reach. I was thinking that I could have this done next month, and then I measured it, and I'm still thinking we've got another 2 months to go. I put this in at the beginning of January, and I was like, oh, end of January, no problem. February rolls around. I was like, okay, end of February, no problem. I'm thinking it's gonna be May. It's gonna be May before this is done. Unless what happens in February happens again and I lose some product from this when sharpening it, I don't think there's any chance that this is gonna last, that this is gonna go before the next update. That's okay. I really like this lip pencil. The color is great. I would consider repurchasing it. I might give something else a try first because I don't necessarily love the sharpening effect. I think I'd like to try a roll-up style pencil first, but I do want to get a shade that's very similar to this because this works with basically every single lip color that I have. So I do really like this one, and I wouldn't mind having this in my collection again. I just feel like I'd like to try a new formula and a new style before getting this specific one again. I did use that lip liner 26 times last month for a total of 75 uses in this project. My goal, just keep using it as much as possible. We'll see where we can get to. Next up, we have my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. And last month you saw I was super close to this line, the empty line, and I knew that was gonna be, I was gonna hit it within that update. Now I asked you guys if you wanted me to go ahead and keep it in the project so you could see my updates on it because I was intending to dig it out. And the majority of you said you did want to still see progress on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it in and I'll show you where I'm at. So I'll go ahead and show you the component that it came in first. And you can see I dug as much out of there as I could. It is empty. It is empty. It's dirty, but it's empty. And when I originally pulled that product out of there, I did put it in this container here. You can see that in the pictures. I had a decent amount of product left, and this was the only container I had at the time that I thought I could put it in. But I did use a lot of that up, and then I actually ended up putting it into my Becca container that I've been putting my NARS lipsticks in, but I wanted to remove that. So today, actually, I changed that over again to this little MAC single shadow. So what I ended up doing was I have a candle warmer that I use, and I just put the product into the center of the pan, and then I popped the little shadow center out. Feel like this is confusing, but we're just gonna go with it. And then I set it on the warmer, and I just melted down the product, and now it is just flat and just clear. So I don't know, I did use a good amount of this last month, and I feel like I saw like a lot of progress. I feel like I used half of what I did end up digging up. So I think I can get this done this next month, but I'm not positive about that. I feel like this will just make it easier to use. I might even actually try it as a cream blush this month, because I didn't last month with it was harder to use the way it was because it was kind of like clumpy. But now that I've melted it down like this and it's solidified again, I feel like this might actually be usable as a cream blush. So I might do that this next month. I did use this product 23 times last month for a total of 62 uses within the project. For those of you that are curious, that was at the 46th use that I dug it out. That's pretty, and I was already pretty low on the product. Now I have been using this, I think, since October of last year, trying to work on it and get it out of my collection. And all said and done, I dug it out actually at the 93rd use. It wasn't completely full when I put it into this project. I'd used it a good amount of times. I'd guess like 30 to 40 times before putting it into the project. So that might give you a little bit of an idea of how long it takes to use one of these up if you're trying to pan a Charlotte Tilbury matte lipstick as well. My goal for that is just to keep using it as much as I can. I don't know that I'll be able to use it up, but I am gonna give it a go. We are here to the final product, which is my NARS lipstick samples. So last month I had in the shades Anna, and I'm pretty sure it's Betty. I said I was gonna call it Bet, but I was thinking about it after, and I'm pretty sure it's Betty. But I had those shades in here, and Betty was a darker purpley like berry tone, and then Anna was like a pink mauve tone. And I thought that one was gonna be really easy to use for me, just a nice everyday shade, but it actually ended up being a little too dusty, muted of a tone on me, and it made me look a little bit washed out. So what I actually ended up doing was mixing the two shades together, and I did end up using them both completely up. I did clean this out, but I did use them both up completely. It took me, I think, it took me 11 uses to get them completely used up. Now, something to note, I keep forgetting to tell you guys this. When I say I used it 11 times, that means 11 days. I don't count reapplications just because that's too difficult for me to, like, every time I reapply, try to tally. But I do just, a use for a lipstick is a use for a day. If it's something like a powder product, I will tell you if there's a reapplication, but it's too difficult for me to measure lips products because you're reapplying them 2 to 3 to 5 times a day, depending on what you're doing. So in reality, it probably took me double the applications, but for days, 11 days, to use those two shades up when mixed together, and that is a total of 31 uses in the project to work through these samples. So we are officially to the last 3 samples in this product. I have been rolling these shades in randomly to determine which ones I'm going to use, but I decided I'm just going to roll all 3 of these in. I don't see any reason to waste time just like slowly going through them. I think I can use most of these shades completely this next month if I really focus on it. I'm gonna go ahead and put these into the Becca pot and swatch them to kind of see what their colors are, because I have noticed since using these samples, they look different in the sample pot rather than when you apply them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real fast, and then I'll give you my goals on them all. All right, I have dug them out and put them in here. Now these are Apolline, Grace, and Deborah. And here are their swatches. So Apolline, Grace, and Deborah. Apologies for how bad these swatches are, but I used what was left in the sample as much as I could to rub them out, so it is what it is. Apolline, I can use up. I'm gonna use that one up. It's actually pretty similar to Pillow Talk in my opinion, a little more pinky than brownie, but I think that one's gonna be an easy one. I wanna use that one up. Grace is more of like a hot pink color. 5 uses on that one. And then Deborah, I'm not sure. I think I might be able to use it up. I'm gonna put a kind of caveat of, I wanna use it up. I think I'll actually enjoy the tone, but if I apply it a few times and I test it out and I don't love it, I'll just put it at the 5 uses as well. It might be a little bit deep for me, but I think I might also be able to use it along with Apolline and then make it a little bit more light. So I'm not too concerned about it. I think I can use it up, but I'll just put that little like asterisk next to it. All right, so we've made it through the update. That was a lot, guys. I feel like that was a lot that happened. I lost some of my highlighter. That's okay. I'm trucking on through this project. I feel like next month, I think I can have Pillow Talk and the NARS lipsticks done. I think I can have pan on the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. Yeah, I think those are my goals. I think I can have 3 more things finished up next month. We'll see with everything else, but I think I'll get good progress on all the other products. Yeah, that's where we are. Thank you so much if you've watched to this point. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like if you'd like, and subscribe if you'd like to see my next updates. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye.